We have a total lunar eclipse in Pisces happening on September 7th at 11:11 a.m. Pacific time. Total solar eclipses are like supercharged full moons, and their effects can be felt for many months, bringing culminations, revelations, and resets, offering powerful opportunities for karmic release, breakdowns, and breakthroughs. It's like a cosmic push out of our comfort zones to help us align more fully with our soul's path. I'm Margaret Miller, coming to you from the Free to Be Free portal, and today I'm going to be talking to you about this total lunar eclipse and looking at the astrology of this full moon lunar eclipse, uh, and weaving in some Sabian symbols and the relevant gene keys to this astrological event. So as I begin, I'd like to start with talking about Pisces, and this full moon is in Pisces, and Pisces is the last degree of the zodiac, so it naturally is about culminations and the coming together of all that's been learned. And Pisces is about harmonizing and about spirituality and purification and the depths of our knowing, the depths of our intuition, the depths of spirit within us. And it's ruled by, its natural ruler is Neptune. And Neptune, as I've said many times, is sort of like a window to the soul. When that window is clean, we're looking at the world through the eyes of Source. We're looking at the world through unconditional love. And when the windows are dirty, we're looking at the world through fog and confusion and delusion and addiction and, all kinds of just false ideas and false narratives and so forth. And so this is really a powerful energy for us to begin to align with. And I really am getting this push inside of me to just talk about water as it, and the oceans and the depths, Neptune and this Pisces full moon. This Pisces full moon is really an opportunity for us to connect more with the element of water and to really start to look at water as this sacred and powerful and conscious entity that it is, and to really begin to make sure that, as we're utilizing water, as we take our baths or showers, as we drink water, as we, when we take it into our bodies, to have gratitude for it, when we utilize it in any way, shape, or form, to really honor it. And as we do so, it has a memory and it will remember our love for it and our respect and our gratitude. And, I always like to encourage people to imagine and to send energy to all of the waters of the earth to help to purify them as they help to purify us. So let's go ahead and look at the astrology of this full moon lunar eclipse. Here we have the full moon at 16 degrees of Pisces, and I've set the time for this chart for 11:11 a.m. Pacific time. So adjust for your time in the world. And, looking at Pisces full moons, again, we are being asked to harmonize. We're being asked to realize, to come into higher depths with our spirituality. And the Sabian symbol for this full moon at 16 degrees of Pisces is the flow of inspiration. And it's talking about how we achieve that, or how that inspiration comes to us. And so it always comes through us finding stillness, finding the grace in stillness, finding, connection with the divine and the eternal nature of all that is. And so this is really a powerful symbol for us uh, as we move through these really challenging and incredible times that we're moving through, to find peace. This is a job that we have in our lives, each of us, to find peace and harmony and love and grace within us. And so it's really asking us to come into alignment with the innermost parts of ourselves, and to allow the parts of ourselves that are needing to be released, that are stopping us from that peace and that inner harmony, to come to the surface, to be released, to come to the surface, to be acknowledged and to be let go of. This is a beautiful Sabian symbol, the flow of inspiration. And it's associated with gene key 63, which is the shadow of doubt, the gift of inquiry, and the city of truth. And so you can see how we can only find that flow of inspiration, and that, that seeking for truth, which really some part of every one of us is always seeking for truth, through going within and inquiring and allowing ourselves to receive from spirit, from the depths. This is a Pisces kind of activity, is to go within and to receive the messages and the guidance from from within ourselves, from our connection to the divine, and allow those inquiries to provide answers as they will, through our patience and through our deep inner listening, our deep connection with source, with higher self, with our guides, guardians, allies, angels, and so forth. And so the full moon, of course, is always opposite the sun, and the sun then is at 16 degrees of Virgo, where it is shining its light. And this total lunar eclipse then the Earth comes in between the sun and the moon and casts the shadow onto the moon. And so this is why it's like sort of a karmic opportunity or karmic reset whenever we have a total lunar eclipse, is because we are getting in between that light of the sun reflecting off of the moon. And so it is a moment where we are being asked to look into the depth, into the darkness, and to bring that to the surface and let it release, let it go, let it be dissolved in the energy of the full moon. And so the sun here at 16 degrees of Pisces, 16 degrees of Virgo, is in the 64th gene key, which is the shadow of confusion, the gift of imagination, and the city of illumination. And as we look at that play between the sun and the moon, we can see that the shadow of confusion is in opposition. It's opposite the moon. The sun is opposite the moon. So this shadow of confusion causes us to have more doubt, especially self-doubt. But it can be doubt towards things in the outer world as well. And the more that we doubt, the more we are confused. And so we have to bring these energies up to their gift level where we can utilize our imagination, the sun here in the 63rd gene key, use our imagination to ask the appropriate questions. What is it that I most need to be aware of right now? And that inquiry, the gift of the moon here in the 64th gene key, says, ask the questions, get clear, allow yourself to ask the questions and listen deeply for the clarity. And so this is a really powerful full moon total lunar eclipse just with those two particular energies, even if we weren't to look at the other planets that were associated with it. And this, I guess I want to also look at the Sabian symbol for the sun at this 16 degrees of Virgo is an orangutan in the zoo. And this is reminding us that we can't ignore the wild beast inside of us. We can't ignore the wildness that is within us. A lot of times we try to repress those energies or pretend like they don't exist, like there isn't, this wild beast inside. But this energy really wants us to acknowledge it and honor it and find ways to channel that energy and to channel it in really empowering ways in our lives rather than with anger or rage or so forth. But, to acknowledge when it's there and to take that opportunity to go within and to allow it to be reformed within us. So there's several energies that are quite prominent with this full moon. And one is that the north node of the moon, and that's the direction that the soul wants to go, in this case, the collective soul, the collective consciousness of humanity, the direction that it truly wants to go. And this north node is within 3 degrees of the moon. So it's fairly close in conjunction with that moon. And so this energy has to do, it's 19 degrees of Pisces, which is a master instructing his pupils. And it's really reminding us of the transmission of love and knowledge through the masters, through the master being willing to share the wisdom and the knowledge, and for the student or the pupil to absorb that. And so there's this, again, this, it has to be this willingness to go inside and look at what needs to be released so that the new can show itself, right? Or maybe the dreams and visions are already very much in place in your consciousness, and they require some inquiry in how to proceed or what needs to be let go of in order for this energy to really come out into the world in a positive way. So that's one really strong energy that I wanted to mention. Another is that this moon, you can see here, this moon is in a trine aspect to Jupiter. And Jupiter is our great benefic. It's our abundance. It's our luck, our fortune. It's expansion and knowledge and learning. It's higher education, and those, it has to do with all of this expanding of our consciousness as well. And so I thought that was a really powerful energy there. And it talks about the Sabian symbol that's associated with this Jupiter is Cancer 20, which is a gondoliers in a serenade. And so it's talking about celebration of love and how we can celebrate our highest aspects of our emotions, how that is, it's much more easy on us and everybody else that we deal with if we really express our positive emotions out into the world, and our love and our joy and our compassion for one another. So that is a very powerful energy as well. And it's associated with gene key 53, which is the shadow of immaturity, the gift of expansion, and the city of superabundance. And so here is Jupiter aligned with the gene key that's associated with expansion. So there's this, and the trine energy is a flowing energy that allows those two planetary archetypes to blend together well and to really be supportive of one another. And so I really wanted to bring that into the awareness as well. Now, the other aspect, and it's not a direct aspect to this moon, but it's a very, very powerful planetary aspect that's going on for some months. It has several exact hits, and one of them is right now during this full moon total lunar eclipse. And so this is a trine, a grand trine between Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, the three outer planets in a grand trine. And so this energy is really helping us to move out of the old world, out of the old consciousness and into the new. Okay, so Pluto here is at the, and they're all at the beginning sign, the beginning degrees of their various signs. Pluto at 1 degree 40 minutes of Aquarius, Neptune at 1 degrees 11 minutes of Aries, and Uranus at 1 degrees 28 minutes of Gemini. And so Pluto here in Aquarius is the transformation and the transmutation of all of the old energies. It is in Aquarius, Pluto is transforming the collective to work towards away from top-down power structures and into more of a networking or a hierarchical structure, and bringing in the Aquarian energy of the individual being exalted in when it is in its authenticity and in service to the whole. So this is a really beautiful energy, and Pluto is going to be working with us for many years to come as we begin to transform and transmute these older energies and come into this newer energy. And Neptune in Aries, at the very first degree of Aries, this is the creation degree, and the 0 degree is the creation degree, but it's still within that orb where it is at the very beginning of the very first sign of the zodiac. So it is talking about new beginnings and new energy for action. Aries is a fire sign, and it is very much about the individual expressing themselves in truth and in their highest, following their highest dreams and visions. And Neptune here gives us that opportunity. Neptune is about our dreams and visions, and so this in the sign of Aries is asking us to bring those dreams and visions into a new form, into actualization in the world. And Saturn is still very close to this Neptune. Saturn are structures and foundations and limitations, but also our mastery. But it has moved. It's all of these outer planets right now are retrograde, so they've moved. Well, they don't actually move backwards, but they appear to move backwards. And when they do that, it's a time of integration of whatever we have been working on. And so Saturn has retrograded back into Pisces. And so it's saying, let's let go of all of the parts of the structures that are not functioning well, so that we can prepare fully to move into this new energy. And so in close proximity to Neptune, it's saying, let's bring those new visions and dreams and put them into a structure of a new foundation that will work for us going forward. So beautiful, beautiful energy there. And then Uranus in the first degree of Gemini. Uranus is our higher consciousness. It's the higher mind, and it is bringing innovation and sudden and unexpected awareness and information and ways of communicating and ways of understanding. And it is in a very tight conjunction with the dwarf planet Sedna, which is the path of our spiritual destiny. And so in this conjunction, we have this incredible opening of spirituality and higher consciousness at a very, very deep level. And sometimes, Uranus can bring shocking and unexpected revelations to light. And so, but in this, and so, and we know that we're going through all of these changes and the ways that we communicate and the coming in of different and new technologies and so forth, and new ways of communicating, new ways of learning, new ways of understanding. And so this is a very, very powerful energy, and in conjunction with Sedna, feel like it brings a very, very spiritual aspect to that energy as well. And so this is a beautiful grand trine that we have supporting us as we move through these very rapid changes in our world. And so I wanted to bring that to our attention. Now, this trine has 3 periods of exactness, and one is right now through about the middle of September. The next one is, I believe, the next exact point is in July of 2026. and that will be at 4 degrees of each of the signs. And then again, in June of 2027, where they will all be at 6 degrees. So they will have moved forward a bit. This is the first of the 3 passes of this grand trine through the astrological chart. Now, another thing about this grand trine is that this has this particular configuration of the outer planets in a grand trine at the very beginning degrees of their signs hasn't happened for many hundreds of years. And so this is a very new and powerful aspect for us as we move forward. Really powerful energies here for this total lunar eclipse. And I really encourage you to take some time. You know, the lunar eclipse can't be seen in North America, but if you're in a part of the world where you can witness it, and that's something that you're called to do, then I highly recommend it. And for those of us who are not in a place where we can actually see the eclipse, to just recognize that the energies are working with us and that they are acting for us. You know, all of these energies and everything that's happening in our lives is happening for us, not to us, but for us. And so to find the time, take some time while this energy is strong, and go inside yourself. And maybe, you know, maybe even be somewhere near water where you can connect with that energy of the Pisces full moon and allow yourself to be energized and be purified by the energy of water and by the energy of this full moon and this lunar eclipse that is asking us to release and to let go so that the new can be revealed in our lives. So I hope this was of benefit to you, and I really enjoy bringing these you know, new moon and full moon insights, and I hope that you are enjoying your life.